Madeline, the doctors say my blood has gone bad. I see the devil and I'm afraid of him. Sharon, poor woman, how do you save yourself from the devil? Madeline, I pray. The organ falls silent again. Sharon, for that the Lord will raise you up and love you. Madeline, he won't forget me? Sharon, no. What are your sins? Tell me. Madeline, I have been sinning all my life, Father. I was a great harlot. I lied. For many years I was an actress and seduced everyone. Sharon, do you remember committing some especially grave sin? Madeline, no, I don't, Archbishop. Sharon, sorrowfully, foolish people, and so you come with a red-hot nail in your heart and no one there will take it out? Never. Do you understand the meaning of the word never? Madeline, having pondered. I understand, frightened. Oh, I'm afraid, Sharon, turning into the devil. You'll see fires, and amidst them, Madeline, a sentry paces, Sharon, and whispers, why didn't you leave your sin behind? Why did you bring it with you? Madeline, and I'll wring my hands, I'll cry out to God. The organ plays. Sharon, and the Lord will no longer hear you, and you will slump down in your chains, and your feet will plunge into the fire, and it will be so forever. Do you understand the meaning of forever, Madeline? I'm afraid to. If I did, I'd die at once, cries out weakly. I understand, and if I leave it here? Sharon, you will hear the eternal singing. On high, a procession walks by with candles, and children's voices sing. Then it all disappears. Madeline, groping around with her hands as if in darkness. Where are you, Holy Father? Sharon, toneless. I'm here. Here. Here, Madeline. I want to hear the eternal singing, whispers passionately. Long, long ago I lived with two men, with Moliere and with another. And I conceived a daughter, Armand, and all my life I've been tormented not knowing who she was, Sharon. Ah, poor thing. Madeline, I gave birth to her in the provinces where I spent some time away from Moliere. When she grew up, I brought her to Paris and passed her off as my sister. Then he, overcome with passion, became intimate with her, and I didn't tell him anything, so as not to make him miserable as well. On account of me, he committed a mortal sin. He may be living with his own daughter, and I've been thrown into hell. I want to fly up to the eternal singing, Sharon, and I, an archbishop by the power vested in me, unbind you and set you free. Madeline, weeping with rapture. Now I can fly? The organ sings out powerfully. Sharon, weeping happy tears. Fly, fly. The organ falls silent. Is your daughter here? Call her in. I'll forgive her involuntary sin as well. Madeline, coming out of the confessional. Armand, my sister, go in. The Archbishop will give you his blessing. I'm happy. Lagrange, I'll help you into the carriage. Madeline, and Armand? Lagrange, I'll come back for her. Leads Madeline into the darkness. Armand enters the confessional. Sharon emerges, frightening in a horned mitre, and rapidly crosses Armand several times with a reverse devil's cross. The organ drones powerfully. Sharon, tell me, do you know who was with me just now? Armand, horrified, suddenly understands everything. No, she's my sister. Sharon, she's your mother. You're the daughter of Moliere and Madeline. I forgive you, but flee from him. Flee from him today. With a weak cry, Armand falls backward and remains motionless on the threshold of the confessional. Sharon disappears. The organ plays soothingly. Lagrange returns in semi-darkness like a dark night. Armand, are you sick? Daytime, the king's reception room. Louis, in a dark caftan embroidered with gold, is at the table. Before him is the dark and exhausted Sharon. On the floor sits honest cobbler mending a shoe. Sharon, she confirmed it to me at confession before she died, and then I did not even deem it necessary, Your Majesty, to interrogate the actor Lagrange, so as not to make too much of this vile business, and I stopped the investigation. Moliere has stained himself with a crime. However, judge as it pleases, Your Majesty. Louis, I thank you, my Archbishop. You have acted correctly. I think the case is now clear. Rings, speaks into space. Summon Monsieur de Moliere, the director of the Palais Royal Theatre, at once. Dismiss the guards. I will speak with him in private. To Chiron. Archbishop, send me this Moiron. Chiron. At once, sire. Exits. Honest cobbler. A kingdom can't exist without informers, eh, great monarch? Louis. Hold your tongue, buffoon, and mend your shoe. So you don't like informers? Honest cobbler. What's there to like? Such scum, your majesty. Moiron enters. His eyes are harassed. He is frightened and looks as if he slept without undressing. He is greatly impressed by Louis, whom he is obviously seeing close up for the first time. Louis, politely. Zachary Moiron. Moiron. Yes, your majesty. Louis. It was you who sat in the harpsichord. Moiron. It was I, sire. Louis. Did Monsieur de Moliere adopt you? Moiron is silent. I asked you a question. Moiron. Yes. Louis. He taught you the art of acting. Moiron weeps. I asked you a question. Moiron. He did. Louis, what motive guided you in writing a denunciation addressed to the king? It is written here, quote, wishing to serve justice, end of quote. Moiron, mechanically, right, wishing. Louis, is it true that he struck you in the face? Moiron, it's true. Louis, what for? Moiron, his wife was unfaithful to him with me. Louis, so that need not be reported at an interrogation. You might have said for personal reasons. How old are you? Moiron, 23. Louis, I announced to you some favorable news. The investigation has confirmed your denunciation. What reward would you like to receive from the king? Would you like money? Moiron gives a start. Pause. Your Majesty, allow me to join the king's players at the Hôtel de Bourgogne. Louis, no. Our information says that you are a weak actor. Impossible. Moiron. Me weak? Naively. The Théâtre du Marais, then. Louis. No again. Moiron. Then what am I to do? Louis. What do you want with this dubious profession of actor? You're a man unstained. If you wish, you'll be taken into the king's service and the investigative police. Submit an application in the king's name. It will be approved. You may go. Moiron leaves. Honest cobbler. A Judas, a Judas. Louis, buffoon, rings. Monsieur de Moliere. As soon as Moiron vanishes through the door, Lagrange appears in another doorway, leads Moliere in, and at once vanishes. Moliere is a strange sight, collar askew, wig in disorder, sword hanging crooked, face leaden, hands shaking. Moliere. Sire. Louis, why did you come with a companion when you were asked to come alone? Moliere, smiling fearfully. My faithful disciple, the actor Lagrange, brought me. Please understand, I had pains in the heart and I couldn't come alone. I hope I've done nothing to anger your Majesty? Pause. Please, a misfortune has befallen me. Forgive me the disorder of my dress. Madeleine Béjart passed away yesterday, and my wife, Armande, fled from the house at the same time. Abandoned everything, her dresses, imagine, a chest of drawers, rings, and left a crazy note. Takes a scrap of paper from his pocket, smiles ingratiatingly. Louis, the holy archbishop was right. You are not only a filthy blasphemer in your plays, you are also a criminal. You are godless. Moliere freezes. I announce to you the decision in the case of your marriage. I forbid you to appear at court. I forbid you to perform Tartuffe, only to keep your company from starving to death. I allow you to perform your funny comedies at the Palais Royal, but nothing else. And from this day on, beware of reminding me of your existence. I withdraw the king's patronage. Moliere, your Majesty, this is a disaster, worse than the scaffold. What for? Louis, for daring to ask me to stand as godfather to your child by your own daughter. For the shadow of a scandalous marriage cast Upon my royal name, Moliere, sinking into an armchair. Forgive me, I can't stand. Louis, leave. The audience is over. Exits. Lagrange, peeking through the door. Well, Moliere, a carriage. Take me. Send for. Lagrange vanishes. Madeline, advise me, but she's dead. What's happening? Honest Cobbler, sympathetically. So what is it you've done? You don't believe in God, right? You're really in a bad way. Have an apple. Moliere mechanically takes the apple. Thank you. Chiron enters and stops, looks at Moliere for a long time. His eyes glitter with satisfaction at the sight of Chiron. Moliere begins to revive. Before, he was lying face down on the table. He rises, his eyes light up. Ah, Holy Father, are you pleased? Is this for Tartuffe? I understand why you've rushed to the defense of religion. You caught on, my reverend sir. I don't dispute it. My friends once said to me, one day you ought to portray some putrid monk. So I went and portrayed you, because where could I find anyone more putrid than you? Chiron, I grieve for you, my son, because anyone who follows this path is sure to wind up on the gallows. Moliere, don't call me your son. I'm not the devil's son. Draws his sword. Honest Cobbler, why the name-calling? Chiron, eyes glittering. But you won't even make it to the gallows, casts a sinister gaze around. One Eye comes from behind the door, holding a cane. One Eye silently approaches Moliere, steps on his foot. Monsieur, you pushed me and did not apologize. You are a boor. Moliere mechanically, forget, tensely. You pushed me. One Eye, you're a liar. Moliere, how dare you? What do you want from me? Lagrange enters just then, changes expression. Maitre, get out. Get out this minute, nervously. Marquise, Monsieur de Moliere is unwell. One Eye, I found him with a sword in his hand. He's well enough. To Moliere. My name is Orsigny. You, my dear sir, are a scoundrel. Moliere, I challenge you. Lagrange, in horror, get out. This is Lord have mercy. Chiron, gentlemen, what are you doing? In the king's reception room? Ah. Moliere, I challenge you. One Eye, that's it. I won't insult you further, sinisterly enjoying himself. God be my judge, great king. Receive me, damp Bastille. To Lagrange, you, sir, will be a witness. To Moliere, give him instructions about your property. Draws his sword, tests the tip. No instructions? Cries in a low, drawn-out voice. Lord have mercy, makes a cross in the air with his sword. Chiron, gentlemen, come to your senses, gentlemen. Lightly flies up the stairs and watches the duel from there. Lagrange, it's plain murder, Honest Cobbler. Cutting each other up in the king's reception room. One Eye grabs Honest Cobbler by the scruff of the neck. He stops talking. One Eye falls upon Moliere. Moliere, warding him off, hides behind the table. One Eye leaps on the table. Lagrange, throw down your sword, master. Moliere throws down his sword, sinks to the floor. One Eye, pick up your sword. Lagrange to One Eye, you can't stab a man who has no sword in his hand. One Eye, and I won't. To Moliere, pick up your sword, you low-down coward. Moliere, don't insult me and don't fight with me. There's something I don't understand. You see, I have a bad heart, and my wife has left me. Diamond rings scattered on the floor. She didn't even take any linen. It's bad. One Eye, what is all this? Moliere, I can't understand why you fell upon me. I've seen you only twice in my life. You brought money? But that was long ago. I'm sick. Please, don't touch me. One Eye, I'll kill you after your first performance. Sheathes his sword. Moliere, all right, it doesn't matter. Honest Cobbler suddenly tears from his place and disappears. Lagrange picks Moliere up from the floor, grabs his sword, and leads him out. One Eye gazes after them. Chiron comes down the stairs with burning eyes. Pause. Why didn't you kill him? One Eye, what business is it of yours? He dropped his sword, Lord have mercy. Chiron, imbecile. One Eye, what? Filthy cleric. Chiron suddenly spits at One Eye. Phew. One Eye is so astounded that he spits back at Chiron. The two go on spitting at each other. The door opens. The agitated Honest Cobbler comes flying in, and after him comes Louis. The two quarrelers are so carried away that they do not immediately stop spitting. The four stare at each other dumbly for a while. Louis, excuse me for interrupting. Vanishes, closing the door behind him. Curtain.